3. It can be done 2 to 4 days for game time. The interesting thing with cross country though is that masks are required at the beginning of the race, but can be removed when they have an attainable distance. So if you're getting blown out, they're taking their mask off while you still have to have yours on. Or maybe you can keep it on. I don't know.
Or maybe they're just at the front of the pack.
So hopefully you're in the front of the pack. But basically what we're focusing on is college football. Twice a week, 3 to 6 days prior to game time, masks are required, and social distancing will be enforced to the highest extent. Guys, what do you think about these social distancing guidelines that the SEC has provided?
Go right ahead.
I mean, I guess all of these guidelines that each, conference have been bringing out, like, in theory, I'm happy that they have some kind of standards that they're setting, but really, like, when you're all around, people, you don't have control of who they see after they leave practice. They're not in a bubble like the NBA, so it's not like you're in this confined, place where you're never going to be subjected to that. They have roommates, they have family, they have friends, they have professors, they have all of these different variables that are going to come into play. And, I just hope and pray that these students are staying safe, especially, some of these college athletes, this may be their last year, or this may be their first year, and regardless of the fact where they are in their careers, I just would like them to have, that experience. So hopefully they're going to take these precautions to the highest degree and, try and stay as safe as they can just so they can protect their teammates and their coaches. But it's just like, I don't know. I don't know, man.
I feel like there are the teams that will benefit the best from this are going to be the teams that are used to some form of strict structure.
Absolutely.
I look at first example I think of is Alabama. I look at the fact Saban and Steve Sarkisian have NFL experience. They are used to very strictly regimented routines. Mm-hmm. And the teams that can adapt the quickest and not complain about it and not, bellyache over the circumstances, mm-hmm. they're the ones that are going to succeed and thrive. They're going to succeed and thrive off of this. The teams that can adapt. I look at a Georgia. I look at an Ohio State. I look at possibly an SC, where you go to those schools not just because you're talented and you're in the ESPN 300, but you also want that strong structure, mm-hmm. where you've got leadership that is unquestioned and all that good stuff. So while I welcome the fact that they're going to test these boys twice a week, I also think the coaches and the programs that can adapt the quickest are going to be the teams that are going to end up being successful this season. Speaking of the season, the SEC, they unleashed a 10-game go.
Yeah, there was 2 more things I wanted to add just before we jumped in.
Go right ahead.
Also, the SEC commissioner, I believe, last month said that players who decide to opt out of the season because of COVID-19 health risks or concerns related to that, they will be their scholarship will be still active and respected by their respective school the next year.
Be honored by their university, and they'll remain in good standing.
And they will remain in great standing as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw that out there as well, before we move.
And that's very key because there's a player on Auburn. He said he's opting out because his girlfriend is giving birth to a child, and speaking with Malzahn, Kevin Steele, defense coordinator Kevin Steele, and others, coaches gave him his blessing, like, go right ahead, do what's best for your family, come back next year. Bruh said he's going to take a red shirt. Auburn will probably grant him that red shirt, more than likely. And I want to see more programs take that lead and take that step because, those who are draft eligible, like the Minnesota receiver, I forget his name, he already said, like, hey, I'm opting out and getting ready for NFL draft.
Well,
Whatever floats your boat.
And just one last, each to basically educate and make sure that students are basically taking those precautions, but are also in good health and condition.
Absolutely. So the SEC and the ACC this week, they came out with a 10-game schedule. The ACC put dates on their schedule. The SEC, still to be determined. They said they might come out with dates I think probably in 2 weeks from now when everything's all said and done. But here is the thing. Here is the thing. There are people out here, namely Auburn fans, who are mad that Alabama is not playing the Florida Gators and the South Carolina Gamecocks this year. Instead, they get Kentucky and Missouri in their 2 extra games. Like,
Oh man.
What? And I'm like, they're already playing LSU. They got LSU in Baton Rouge. They got to play Georgia. They got to play Tennessee. Like, what are you talking about? Florida isn't playing Alabama this year. So LSU is kind of mad. But then LSU is playing Vanderbilt this year. Like,
bruh, they on wildin'.
like, what are we arguing about, bro? Like,
So I will say,
Oh Lord.
a lot of people see Alabama as playing cupcake teams every year, or teams that are very, very not up to their level, playing a lot of tune-up games. So, and I mean, let's just face it. If Auburn had to play Kentucky and Missouri,
yes.
I think, Auburn, let's just face it, those are 2 easy wins. Like, going into the season, I mean, the way it play out, those are 2 easy wins versus, playing any other SEC East team besides those two teams, I mean. So I kind of understand it because Alabama does have a reputation of playing those cupcake teams. But again, at the end of the day, the games have to be played. And yeah, let the chips fall where they may.
By comparison, Auburn has to travel to Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and South Carolina. They got Texas A&M at home. They got Kentucky at home. They have Arkansas at home. And they play Tennessee at home. I think, Auburn, you guys should be okay. Let's be real. You got to worry about Georgia.
The road games.
The road games are tough. Like, you're going to go travel to UGA and Bama in the same back-to-back. Like, that's going to be rough.
Look, my thing is focus on yourself. Like, I feel like the coaches should be telling these boys this. Every coach I've ever had, regardless if it was Little League, all the way to college, all the way to the NFL, like, focus on your darn self and win the game. Like, who cares what Alabama, who cares what Georgia, who cares what Macy, Anthony, and Etoro are doing? Focus on yourself and do your job, and then you may get to the playoffs if the season is in play. Like, just do your thing.
Well. To also say this, because I'm looking at it from a standpoint, like, let's just face it. It's hard to go undefeated in the SEC. It's going to be hard. week after week, it's hard whether these teams are scrubs or not. It's just hard to go undefeated in the SEC. And we know, basically, if Alabama or any of the top tier SEC teams drop a game and it comes to playoff prediction committee, well, the body of work and what they look like as a team, they look like a playoff team. Let's just say they don't, make the SEC championship game or to win the playoff. Like these are things they're thinking about.
Given Saturday and Auburn, ever since I've been watching football, Auburn is like sometimes they show up and sometimes they don't, and it's supposed to be like the bomb or whatever y'all young kids are saying.
The bomb.
This is the year that Auburn.
I don't know.
Their quarterback, Bo Nix, had played very well in his freshman year last year. He definitely did some good things. However, he's definitely done some good things. However, Bama has got Mac Jones at QB. Georgia is playing two transfers at
I say
QB.
Newman gets the job. Well,
Newman might. I agree with Ant that I think Newman. I can see that. LSU is replacing Joe Burrow and Elaire. Now, how their quarterback is going to step up, we shall see.
Don't know yet.
But he's got Jamar Chase to throw the ball to. He's going to be the first receiver taken in the draft. I think LSU will be fine. Their defense, LSU's defense, they're always stout. Like, let's just be real. LSU's defense is always great.
No, Ohio State University is DBU. But, I mean, they can come in a close second. I mean, the numbers don't lie.
As far as draft picks, they're up there, but I think Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu, we'll just start there. We'll start there.
I ain't say they were.
If you play LSU, you better have some great receivers because they got some.
I ain't playing with LSU. Like, I would not. Don't play with me. That should be their catchphrase is don't play with me because, I mean, their defense is rugged. It's crazy.
But they're also defending national champions.
They are.
Can't forget that.
We won't take that away from them. And, I'm excited to see, I'm not a huge SEC person or fan, but I'm excited to see what they're going to do this year, coming back off of that national championship.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting year. I think they'll be fine. But we can talk about that in another episode.
One thing is for sure. Two things are certain. The SEC. There's gonna always be squabbling in the SEC amongst each other. That's what makes the SEC so great. It's 365 days a year of arguing. Like you can't escape it. Not even at Thanksgiving dinner. you can't escape it. You go argue in church.
It's rivalry that Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yes, it is, and that's my favorite week of the year.
Y'all got somebody's number.
That school up north. That team up north.
They need. Honestly, we need a new team to play. That's a rival because
it ain't a rival unless you win. Unless you win.
You hear that, Michigan fans? You hear that? Gotta win.
For real. So
you never know. It might be the year.
I feel like Clemson should be our new rival, even though they've been,
Y'all haven't beat Clemson.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. But it's always something to shoot for.
They
So
look like a rivalry,
it's only been a couple of times.
You know,
but
shut y'all out one game.
yeah, I'm not running away from the goose egg they gave us. That was embarrassing. But anyway.
Come on, y'all.
I mean, hey, you know what? Georgia Tech, they play Florida State first game out. Clemson is also coming to Atlanta this year. UCF is coming to Atlanta this year. So anybody, hopefully if we have fans in the stands, might want to go check out what Coach Collins and those boys got going
Big up
on.
to my boy Tashard Choice, the RB coach over there at Tech.
You know,
He's gonna.
they shout out to Tech because, you know what I'm saying, they're building something over there. It's tough.
I hope they're building.
It's tough, but again, excuse the Georgia boy over here, but I'm just saying,
He's outlandish.
like for real, like Coach Collins is
Commendable,
building
yeah.
something over there when historically it's been hard to build over there because
Definitely. The standard.
it's a science-based university, so there's no liberal arts majors at Georgia Tech. I don't know if somebody may know that, but some of y'all may not know that.
Yeah.
So
It's not an easy place to get
so
into.
trying to recruit there is not the easiest thing in the world. So we send all our support to Coach Collins and T Choice. We see y'all, we recognize y'all. And on that note, before they start fighting, you think it's about time to get up out of here. So shout out to everyone that's following us. We're right around, we're crossing 900 subscriber mark. We're coming in on that 1,000. So keep following us, keep sharing our videos, keep liking our videos. Like, share, comment, all on The Atlanta Voice. Follow us on all social media platforms at The Atlanta Voice. Go visit theatlantavoice.com. That website is blowing up day by day. And y'all have any final words?
No.
Yeah, may the best team win. It's gonna be a tough season, especially in the SEC. So, yeah, you boys better get ready.
All I'll say is let's hope we have a season that's uninterrupted
Of course.
Absolutely.
and
Most
no interruptions, and everyone stays safe and stay healthy. So on that note, we'll see y'all